of the home I lived in for the past 3 years. I was told I had to move out by the end of June. Now, I have really tried to speak to my landlord directly, to have some kind of reasonable conversation and come to an understanding. Because I think it's really important for us to have an open dialogue, to have a better understanding of our differing points of view, because in the end, we're all human, and we want what's best for our families. But unfortunately, they refuse to speak to me. So I've decided to fight this eviction. I have a hearing date set for the end of August. However, I've spoken to lawyers, to real estate agents, and they've all told me not to be optimistic, because N12s, which are no-fault evictions, are almost always enforced in the owner's favor. So it's really tempting to direct my frustration towards the owners of my home. But legally, they are allowed to do what they're doing because it is permitted by the province of Ontario. On June 2nd, the provincial government lifted the ban on evictions. So even though we're still dealing with this pandemic, even though there's a mental health crisis, a housing crisis, and a homelessness crisis, landlords can now evict their tenants. Shame! Thank you. I'm really lucky that I have such wonderful people supporting me, and not everyone has the same support that I do. It's time to stand up for our neighbors and our friends who require stability in this precarious rental market, and to fight for vacancy control in the province of Ontario, and also an anti-displacement policy here in the city of Ottawa. Because renters are just as worthy as having safe and affordable housing as anybody else.
Let me just say, I'm not just an ACORN supporter, I'm an ACORN member. There's only one way we're going to fight back against an organization like the province of Ontario, the government of Ontario, big corporate landlords who are pushing people at a heron gate, or what's happening to Jessica and her daughter, and that's community organizing. And frankly, I would almost like to think, because you've been working so hard, Jessica, it almost amounts to community shaming.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shame!
This is a pandemic. This is a pandemic, and you're pushing people out of their homes. The government of Ontario just summoned me and every other MPP in the province of Ontario this weekend to debate through the night, laws that they wanted to bring in to suppress people's speech.
Shame!
Because they don't want people criticizing them a year out of an election. So this is actually a really important moment, not just because of the provincial election coming in a year, but the federal election coming, I'm hearing perhaps in the fall, and the fight that we're hearing about through Jessica. I can't wait to do whatever our office can do to support this LTB hearing in August. I can't wait to work with all of you to make sure that people can stay in their homes. The pandemic is not over.
No.
Is the pandemic over?
No!
If the pandemic's not over, then supports for people in the pandemic should not be over. We need real rent control. We need an end to rent evictions. We need an end to thinking that we need to push working class people out of the downtown.
Fight, fight, fight! Housing is the right! Fight, fight, fight! Housing is the right!
Give me an A! Give me a C! Give me an O! Give me an R! Give me an X! What's that spell?
ACORN!
Message on his cell phone to let him know that we've been here today. We'll send another letter to follow up, and we'll see what happens next. I promise we'll keep you all updated with the news, and please stay in touch with Hyla and the members of ACORN, because there's more than just this situation, okay? We're going to keep looking at all these evictions. It's not just one case, it's happening all across the city. So let's keep fighting, okay? Thank you very much. Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Ruano, and I just held a demonstration here today in Parkdale Park with ACORN Ottawa because I received an eviction notice from the new owners of the home I lived in for the past 3 years. And I am really scared to move because the prices in this neighborhood have soared. I don't think I'll be able to afford it, and I have a little girl who's 1 year old. I'm a solo working parent, And from what I have from what I have seen and researched and understood, there are tons of people in the same situation that I'm in, some who are far worse off. So I think it's really important that you write to the Government of Ontario and reinstate the ban on evictions, because evictions are allowed now ever since June 2nd, even though the pandemic is still happening. And we also need to have an anti-displacement policy here in Ottawa. If you're interested in my situation, you can also sign an action on the ACORN Ottawa website, and the link will be here. Thank you so much for your support, and keep on fighting.